Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to the AEW Dynamite review. Dynamite tonight was from the Sasktel Centre in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, in Canada. And Dynamite tonight, I thought it was a good show. I thought it was a very fun show. We had two blind eliminated tag team tournament semifinal matches, and we also had a semifinal match in the Women's Owen Hart Foundation tournament. We had Chris Jericho versus Komander. We had Sammy Guevara and Dan Garcia versus Darby, Allin, and Orange Cassidy in a semifinals match in the blind eliminated tag team tournament. And we also saw Adam Cole and MJF versus Brian Cage and Big Bill, also blind eliminated tag team semifinals match. We have Ruby Soho versus Skye Blue. This was in the semifinals of the Women's Owen Hart Foundation tournament. And we had the debut of Nick Wayne. Nick Wayne, 18-year-old, made his AEW debut tonight on Dynamite, and he took on Swerve Strickland. And we also got the mystery partners revealed for Blood and Guts. One mystery partner for the Blackpool Combat Club, and one mystery partner for the Elite. And they both were shocking. Both partners were shocking, which I will get to explain that. But overall, Dynamite tonight was a very fun show. But before I get into the review, if you guys haven't checked out my previous video that I uploaded earlier today, did a Blu-ray 4K update where I showed off 8 titles that I got. So check out that video if you guys haven't seen it. It's up on the channel. Like I said, uploaded earlier today. But anyways, let's jump right into the review. Dynamite opened up tonight with Chris Jericho versus Komander. And this was a decent match here. Chris Jericho ended up coming out first. Of course, the crowd singing along to Judas. And then Komander made his way out. And the match got underway. We had Jericho end up taking down Komander. So Komander ended up connecting with a Hurricanrana to Jericho, and then he ended up sending Jericho to the outside. Komander then hit the ropes, and he followed up with a twist and dive onto Jericho. So Komander was in control of the match. He headed up the ring steps, and then he ended up leaping off the apron onto Jericho, sending him back into the ring. So Komander then slided back into the ring, and he was intercepted by Jericho. Jericho ended up slamming Komander down, and Jericho then gained control of the match, and he ended up laying in a pair of chops to Komander, which sent Komander to the ropes. Jericho then lifted Komander up, and he delivered a brainbuster to Komander, and Jericho ended up going for the cover. Komander ended up kicking out. So Komander got back up. He started to build up some momentum. And he ended up hitting the back heel kick to Jericho. So Jericho then came back. And Jericho ended up sending Komander to the outside. And then Dynamite went to commercial. So then as Dynamite came back from the commercial, we had Komander end up catching Jericho. He ended up taking Jericho down. He was looking to go for a Hurricanrana. And then Jericho ended up driving Komander down to the canvas with a powerbomb. So Komander got back up. He started to fight back at Jericho. Komander started to fight back at Jericho. And Komander ended up going for the cover, and Jericho kicked out. Komander then hit the ropes, and the Ocho, of course Chris Jericho, ended up delivering a clothesline to Komander. Komander got back up, and Jericho ended up charging into Komander, which Komander ended up laying out Jericho with a boot in the corner. Jericho caught Komander on the turnbuckle. Jericho was looking to go for a superplex on Komander, but Komander ended up fighting out of it. Komander then sent Jericho down with a headbutt. Komander then walked the ropes, and I like how, Komander always does this where he walks the ropes, he leaps off one of the ropes, and then hits a shooting star press on the next rope, which that is awesome. I really love that. So he ended up hitting the shooting star press to Jericho. So Komander ended up going for the cover, and Jericho kicked out. Komander headed onto the apron, but he was intercepted by Jericho. Komander ended up avoiding a crossbody from Jericho, which sent Jericho to the outside. Komander then got to the corner, and he pulled off kind of a spaceman rope walk dive onto Jericho, which was cool. So Jericho was sent back to the ring, and we had also Komander ended up going for the cover, and Jericho kicked out. Jericho was going for the juice effect, but it got dodged by Komander. Komander ended up going for a Dragon Rana, and Jericho ended up catching Komander in midair, and he transitioned into a Lion Tamer, which forced Komander to tap out. So there you go. Chris Jericho ended up winning the match. Post-match, Don Callis made his way down to the ring. And the theme music for Don Callis here, it's just... it sucks. I think his theme music sucks for what they chose for him. So Don Callis got boos, heavy boos from the crowd. Callis got on the mic, and he ended up congratulating Jericho on the win. And he was talking about how the wrestling world is buzzing about the possibility of Jericho joining the Don Callis family. So we had Callis end up just hyping up Jericho some more. And then Callis showed some footage of him and Jericho working together back in the day. Jericho ended up saying that he remembers that day fondly, especially because he still had all his hair. He ended up saying that Bad News Allin told him that day to always make sure him and Don Callis stick together. Callis ended up saying that Bad News Allin is up in heaven watching the excitement about Jericho joining up with him. Callis ended up saying that there is no pressure, but he is sure Allin will want him to say yes. So Callis ended up leaving the ring, and Jericho, was still in there, and pretty much that was basically that. But overall, decent match between Jericho and Komander. Komander is just, talented in the ring. Like I said, I love when he, walks the rope and then does that shooting star press. It's just absolutely great. And then, Don Callis still wanted Jericho to join his Don Callis family. So will Jericho take up that offer and join Don Callis' family? We'll have to wait and see. So then we saw Alex Marvez. Alex Marvez ended up asking Jack Perry from his car why Perry is out here. Perry ended up talking about the unsafe working environment of AEW. He ended up saying that you should be doing things in the ring and not in the parking lot. So then we got Jack Perry being interrupted by someone trying to open his car door on the other side. So Perry ended up stumbling out of the car, and he was dealing with a child lock, and it nearly got caught by Hook. So Hook was dealing with the child lock to get out. He was telling Jack Perry he's after him. And then he ended up walking off, and pretty much that was basically that. So Jack Perry was dealing with a child lock, which I thought was funny. But the segment was quick. It's a nice way to keep building, with Jack Perry and Hook, for Jack Perry to eventually face Hook for the FTW Championship. And then, as Dynamite came back from the commercial, we saw Renee Paquette. Renee Paquette was talking to Don Callis, which Don Callis walked by. He was talking on his phone. So Renee Paquette ended up asking Don Callis about what happened with Jericho. So Callis didn't want to respond to that, but he ended up announcing that he will be going to the ring by himself, and he will be announcing the 5th member of the Blackpool Combat Club for the upcoming Blood and Guts match against the Elite, which is going to be next Wednesday on Dynamite from Boston. So Renee ended up asking Callis about the threat of Kenny Omega, to which Callis ended up calling Omega a coward, saying that he betrayed him. And so that was that. So it was a good one when Don Callis ended up saying, "Oh, I'm going out there all by myself." So like I said, he was going to announce the 5th member in the Blackpool Combat Club for Blood and Guts. And then we saw MJF and Adam Cole. MJF and Cole, they continued to bond together as a tag team. And this time, both guys were hanging out at a club. MJF showed off Cole his playboy ways. And, it was funny. I'm loving these MJF and Adam Cole bonding segments. They're just absolutely fucking gold. And so then we saw MJF and Adam Cole. They were playing Fight Forever, which I don't have the game. I'm waiting until it goes on sale, until it drops me like, $20? Because the graphics to Fight Forever, they don't look good, in my opinion. They look like PS2 graphics. And I'm like, oh, they kept delaying the game and delaying the game and delaying the game. And the game comes out, and I'm like, when I saw like the first gameplay of it, I'm like, really? This is the best that they gave us? With it being delayed and delayed and delayed? This is the best that they could give us with how those graphics look. Makes me question why they kept, delaying the game and delaying the game and delaying the game, only to give us such, crap graphics. They look like a PS2 game. Like I said, I'm waiting until it goes on sale. Hope they get it for $20 sometime down the line. No way I'm paying $60 for it. So, yeah, MJF and Cole were playing Fight Forever, advertisement for the game. And both MJF and Adam Cole had like a heart-to-heart about the situation they are in as a tag team in the Blind Eliminator Tag Team Tournament. So they were playing, and then all of a sudden, they're like, yeah! At the end, which I thought was funny. But overall, these MJF and Adam Cole bonded segments, they are golden. I'm loving it. And, it was a nice little plug for Fight Forever. So, more of these MJF and Adam Cole bonded segments. So then, we had Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin versus Sammy Guevara and Danny Garcia. This was a semifinal match in the Blind Tag Team Tournament. And this was a good match here. Darby Allin made his way down to the ring. No Sting. Sting wasn't on Dynamite tonight. So then, Orange Cassidy, the international champion, ended up making his way out. And then Sammy Guevara came out And then Daniel Garcia made his way out. So they came out to their own themes and not, Jericho's, Judas theme. So they had their own, theme music that they came out to. But the match started off with Orange Cassidy and Guevara. And Guevara was mocking Orange Cassidy by putting, his hands in his tights. Mocking Orange Cassidy, putting his hands in his pockets. So Sammy Guevara ended up getting caught in a side headlock by Cassidy. Guevara quickly got back in control of the match as he started beating down on Cassidy. Danny Garcia ended up getting involved, causing a distraction. Orange Cassidy then ended up tagging Darby Allin in. Darby Allin ended up intercepting Danny Garcia, and he ended up going for the cover, and Guevara ended up kicking out. Darby Allin then hit the ropes. He was tripped up by Danny Garcia, and Danny Garcia ended up sending Orange Cassidy into the barricade. So Danny Garcia ended up grabbing Darby Allin with a spinning front chancery, taking him down to the canvas. And then Dynamite went to commercial. So during the picture-in-picture, Danny Garcia was in control of the match. He tagged in Sammy Guevara, and he continued to attack Darby Allin, and he delivered a delayed vertical suplex. This was all done during the picture-in-picture. So as Dynamite came back from the commercial, Darby was fighting out of the Boston Crab, which was locked in by Danny Garcia. So we had Darby Allin end up fighting out of the Boston Crab, and Danny Garcia ended up running to break things up. So Darby Allin ended up going after Danny Garcia. He ended up knocking Danny Garcia off the apron as Guevara ended up catching Darby from behind, and Danny Garcia ended up getting a blind tag. Darby Allin ended up going for a pin on Guevara, and Guevara was not the legal man. So Darby Allin ended up finding out the hard way with that. So Darby ended up avoiding disaster by Danny Garcia, and then we had Darby Allin end up tagging in Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy ended up attacking Danny Garcia, and Cassidy ended up going for the cover, and Danny Garcia ended up kicking out. Cassidy ended up setting up for the orange punch, but he got caught by Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia ended up going for a Dragon Tamer on Cassidy. So Cassidy was able to make it out, and he ended up hitting the Stun Dog Millionaire on Danny Garcia. So Cassidy ended up going for the cover. Danny Garcia ended up kicking out. So Guevara and Darby Allin ended up rushing into the ring. Guevara ended up taking Darby out, and Orange Cassidy ended up hitting a beach break, but Danny Garcia ended up catching Orange Cassidy with a near fall. So Danny Garcia and Orange Cassidy ended up getting back to their feet after an exchange of pin attempts. So we had Danny Garcia and Orange Cassidy end up taking each other out with a boot to the face. So both guys end up slowly getting back to their feet, and Sam Guevara and Darby Allin end up coming in. Both Guevara and Darby were exchanging blows at each other, and they end up in the corner. So Danny Garcia ended up taking Orange Cassidy out on the apron. Guevara got to his feet. He ended up charging at Darby in the corner. Darby ended up dodging that, but then he was caught with a boot as Guevara ended up going back to attack Darby. So Danny Garcia had Orange Cassidy and another Dragon Tamer. Prince Nana came down, and Prince Nana was telling Danny Garcia to use Darby Allin's skateboard on Orange Cassidy. So we had Darby Allin end up grabbing the skateboard from Danny Garcia, and Swerve Strickland came out of nowhere. Swerve ended up delivering a kick to Darby Allin, and because of that, Guevara ended up taking Darby down with a pin. So there you go. Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia won the match. They are advancing in the blind eliminated tag team tournament. And Prince we saw Prince Nana and Swerve Strickland in the crowd. So pretty much that was basically that. But overall, this was a good semifinals match in the Blind Eliminated Tag Team Tournament. Good wrestling from all four of these guys. And, of course, there's that history between Swerve and Darby Allin. So, but good stuff here. And then we saw, a vignette on Nick Wayne, as he prepares for his match against Swerve Strickland, his debut match tonight on Dynamite. Just showcasing, how he got into wrestling. Good, little vignette on Nick Wayne. Getting to know about him. And then, as Dynamite came back from the commercial, Renee Paquette was backstage. Renee Paquette was talking to Adam Cole. Adam Cole was on the phone talking to his girl, Britt. So, Adam Cole was interrupted by Roderick Strong. So, Roderick Strong was like to Adam Cole, "Oh, are you taking MJF seriously now?" So Adam Cole was suddenly interrupted by a text from MJF. And in the text, MJF ended up telling Adam Cole that he's not feeling well and that he's having the flu after seeing Brian Cage walk by. And that forced Adam Cole to call MJF. And he was telling MJF to get ready. So pretty much that was that. You saw Roderick Strong in a neck brace here also. And then we had the Blind Eliminated Tag Team Tournament semifinal match, MJF and Adam Cole versus Brian Cage and Big Bill. So we had Big Bill end up coming out first, and then Brian Cage end up making his way out. And then MJF, came out. And then he introduced Adam Cole, baby. So the match got underway. MJF and Big Bill started off in the ring. MJF was hyping himself up for a body slam on Big Bill, but it ended up failing. So it led to MJF tagging in Adam Cole. So MJF was hightailing it up the ramp. Adam Cole ended up cutting MJF off. And he gave MJF a pep talk to come back into the match. So Brian Cage ended up tagging in, and Brian Cage was posing for the crowd to mock Adam Cole. So Adam Cole was doing these push-ups. And then we had MJF and Adam Cole. They were trying to continue to figure out a plan against, the sizes of Big Bill and Brian Cage. And there was not a lot of wrestling in this match. So MJF ended up taking a boot to the back from Big Bill. So Big Bill ended up knocking Adam Cole off the apron, and he attacked MJF. And pretty much he was doing push-ups. Pretty much Big Bill was mocking MJF and Adam Cole. So with those push-ups. So then Dynamite went to commercial. Then as Dynamite came back from the commercial, Brian Cage ended up getting a near fall on MJF, to which MJF ended up kicking out. Cage ended up tagging Big Bill back in. So Big Bill ripped MJF's shirt off, started taunting him with the shirt. So we had MJF end up stopping a chokeslam attempt from Big Bill because MJF bit Big Bill's hand. And then he ended up hitting the body slam to Big Bill, which was a awesome looking body slam that MJF did on Big Bill. So MJF looked exhausted. He ended up dropping down. He tried to get a tag to Adam Cole. So Brian Cage ended up tagging in. He ended up intercepting. Cage ended up reversing a pile driver by MJF, but he was taken down, which allowed MJF to tag in Adam Cole. Adam Cole then came in. He went on the attack on Brian Cage. He ended up taking Cage down. So we had Adam Cole ended up tagging in MJF. They were looking to go for a double clothesline to Brian Cage. Brian Cage ended up putting a stop to that. Big Bill ended up running in, and he ended up taking a double kick, which was followed by a super kick to Big Bill's face by Adam Cole and MJF. So we had, Big Bill end up laying out both MJF and Adam Cole with a double clothesline. Same thing with Brian Cage. Brian Cage ended up laying out MJF and Adam Cole with a double clothesline. So we had MJF end up taking in Adam Cole. So Adam Cole ended up hitting the heat seeker on Brian Cage on the second rope. Cole then ended up hitting the boom to Brian Cage, and he ended up going for the cover. And there you go. MJF and Adam Cole end up winning the match, and they are advancing in the Blind Eliminator Tag Team Tournament. Obviously. Post-match, MJF got on the mic. He ended up asking Saskatoon if there are any devil worshippers in the house. He ended up saying that he's super over. But you know who else is? So MJF ended up telling Adam Cole to do the thing. And of course, Adam Cole does indeed do the thing. The Adam Cole, baby! So then MJF ended up hyping up the new shirt. The Better Than You, baby shirt. Which is now on AEW Shop. Because MJF ended up saying that. So good plug there for the new shirt. So he ended up saying, the fact that they're going to go after that double clothesline. Adam Cole took a moment and he ended up doing story time with Adam Cole, baby. Adam Cole was hyping up the unexpected success of him and MJF as a tag team and what it would mean to win the Blind Eliminator Tag Team Tournament at Collision on July 29th. He ended up saying things end when they do the thing with their new catchphrase. So Roderick Strong was shown watching backstage, and pretty much that was basically that. But this was kind of a very different, matchup here, with, them doing push-ups, Big Bill doing push-ups, Adam Cole doing push-ups. But it was still pretty good. The match had a slow pace. It worked for both Adam Cole and MJF. And, with them trying to figure out how to handle Big Bill and Brian Cage. And then we went backstage. And Renee Paquette was there. She was talking to Jake Hager, who still has that stupid purple hat on him. And, she was looking to confront Chris Jericho after what's been going on. So Jake Hager and Renee Paquette end up walking into the room. So Jericho ended up saying that Don Callis makes some good points. So he ended up talking up the history. Hager ended up saying that him and Jericho have history as well. Hager reminded Jericho that Jericho saved his life 10 years ago in Abu Dhabi and was given a chance to do MMA. And he's in AEW because of Jericho. Jericho was the one who brought Hager into AEW. So Hager ended up saying to Jericho that if Jericho cannot make a decision, then he cannot give Jericho 100% of himself. So Hager took off the purple bucket hat and he handed it to Jericho. And then Hager walked off, and pretty much that was basically that. Thank God Hager took off that stupid purple bucket hat. I hope that is it of him wearing that hat. And then we had the semifinal match in the Women's Owen Hart Foundation tournament. Ruby Soho versus Skye Blue. And this was a okay women's match here. Wasn't great or perfect by any means. So we had Ruby Soho end up coming out, along with Toni Storm and Saraya. We got a recap of Ruby beating Britt Baker last week on Dynamite. So then Skye Blue end up coming out. We got a recap of Skye Blue's journey into the semifinals, which led to the match getting underway. So Ruby Soho end up attacking Skye Blue early on in the match. Skye Blue was able to fight back as she ended up sending Soho into the corner. Soho ended up dodging an attack from Skye Blue. Toni Storm head up on the apron for a distraction, which Toni Storm was taken down by Skye Blue. So Skye Blue ended up catching Soho with a kick to her head on the apron. Soho ended up fighting back. She was looking to go for the STO, but she was driven face first onto the apron by Skye Blue. So it led to Toni Storm sending her into the ring steps. So the referee ended up catching that, and we had the ref end up kicking the Outcast from ringside. The referee ended up kicking Toni Storm and Saraya out of there. So ended up looking distraught. She ended up going back to attack on Skye Blue. She ended up driving Skye Blue's knee into the steps. And then she ended up sending Skye Blue's head into the floor. And then Dynamite went to commercial. So as Dynamite came back from the commercial, Skye Blue was in control of the match. She was fighting back against Soho. Skye Blue was able to deliver a kick to Soho's face, to which Soho rolled back into the ring. Skye Blue ended up going up top, but her damage to her knee caused trouble on the landing, so Soho ended up blocking a follow-up super kick, and Skye Blue ended up hitting a neck breaker to Soho, to which Skye Blue ended up going for the cover, and Soho ended up kicking out. Soho was up on the ropes. Skye Blue ended up charging forward to Soho. Soho ended up dodging it, but Skye Blue ended up dodging Destination Unknown from Soho. Soho then ended up blocking a Code Blue attempt from Skye Blue. She was tweaking Skye Blue's leg as she transitioned that into a single leg crab. Skye Blue was fighting hard so that she can make it to the ropes to break up the single leg crab. So ended up getting dropped on her face by Skye Blue, and Skye Blue ended up going for the cover, and Soho ended up kicking out. So Skye Blue ended up going up to the top, and she was then intercepted into a no future from Soho, and she ended up going for the cover. And there you go. Ruby Soho ended up winning the match. So Ruby Soho is advancing to the Owen Hart Women's tournament final match. But overall, it was an okay match. And then we had, as Dynamite came back from the commercial, we had the premiere for Harley Cameron's rap class, which was introduced by QT Marshall and Aaron Solo. God, was this abysmal. This was fucking abysmal. Just QTV needs to get off my TV. Anytime QTV is shown, whether it's on Dynamite or on Rampage, it is fucking awful. It's channel-changing garbage. QTV needs to stay off my TV. So then we had Swerve Strickland versus the AEW debut of Nick Wayne. 18-year-old Nick Wayne. Swerve Strickland made his way out. He was accompanied by Prince Nana. And then Nick Wayne got a big ovation as he came out. And this was a fun match here. Nick Wayne was really impressive here. And the match started off with Swerve and Nick Wayne going at it. They were in the corner. Swerve ended up mocking Nick Wayne for a little bit. So Nick Wayne ended up hitting the ropes, and Swerve ended up tackling him, and there was a quick exchange of holds. Nick Wayne ended up hitting the corner for the code red attempt, which was countered by Swerve. Swerve ended up taking a breather on the canvas. The crowd was cheering Nick Wayne on, which Nick Wayne's mom was present there. You know, she was in the crowd. So Swerve ended up delivering a boot to Nick Wayne's face. Nick Wayne then caught Swerve with some kicks. So Nick Wayne was then taken down by Swerve. Nick Wayne was looking to go for a springboard cutter, but he was cut off by Prince Nana because Prince Nana distracted Nick Wayne, which allowed Swerve to catch Nick Wayne. But Swerve was met with a Hurricanrana off the apron, out to the floor by Nick Wayne, which that was a nice looking Hurricanrana from Nick Wayne there. So then Dynamite went to commercial. And then as Dynamite came back from the commercial, Nick Wayne was in control of the match. He started fighting out of a chin lock, locked in on Swerve Strickland. And, you know, Nick Wayne was starting to fight out of that, but he was met with a strike by Swerve. And we had Nick Wayne end up delivering a left jab to Swerve. Nick Wayne ended up hitting a shotgun drop kick, and then he ended up hitting a spinning kick and a cutter to Swerve. So Nick Wayne ended up going for the cover, and Swerve ended up kicking out. Nick Wayne headed up the ropes, but he was then intercepted again by Swerve, and Swerve ended up going for the cover, and Nick Wayne ended up kicking out. Swerve then set Nick Wayne up on the top turnbuckle. Darby Allin was out on the stage because, you know, Darby Allin ended up training Nick Wayne. You know, Darby Allin is Nick Wayne's protege. And we had Nick Wayne end up hitting a reverse Rana on Swerve, which was followed up by a springboard cutter. So Nick Wayne ended up going for the cover, but Swerve got his foot on the bottom rope. So we all thought that was 3 there, but, you know, like I said, Swerve got his foot on the bottom rope. Swerve then caught Nick Wayne with some strikes, and then he delivered the last call, and Swerve ended up going for the cover. Nick Wayne ended up kicking out. So Swerve grabbed Nick Wayne's arm. He ended up driving it back to separate Nick Wayne's shoulder. So Nick Wayne was driven down by a JML driver by Swerve. Swerve ended up going for the cover. And there you go. Swerve Strickland ended up winning the match. Overall, this was a fun match. Nick Wayne was impressive here in his AEW debut. And it was a good move on AEW by matching up Nick Wayne with Swerve Strickland. So, but, you know, Nick Wayne, you know, he makes his debut and then he loses his first match. You know, the guy has potential. And I think AEW should make him get a win in his next match. I want to see another loss for Nick Wayne. The guy, like I said, has potential. We saw it here with Swerve Strickland. And they need to see something. AEW needs to see something in Nick Wayne after what we saw here tonight. I don't want to see him get another loss. And then we got a video package showcasing Lance Archer and how, you know, he's been performing overseas. And it was announced that Lance Archer is coming back to AEW and he's going to be featured Friday on Rampage. So Lance Archer is back on AEW and he's going to be on Rampage. And then Don Callis ended up coming out. This was the main event segment. announcing the fifth partners for the Blackpool Combat Club and also the Elite. So Don Callis came to the ring, and he ended up announcing the fifth member of the Blackpool Combat Club's squad heading into the Blood and Guts next week. So Don Callis started running down the Elite, started running down Omega and the Bucks and Hangman and Page. And so Kenny Omega ended up coming out. So Kenny Omega made his way down to the ring, got a big pop from the crowd. Kenny Omega was then blindsided by Moxley and Takeshita. So Omega ended up shoving past them. He ended up going after Callis. So we had Omega got caught with a chair shot to his back from PAC. PAC is back, which is awesome. So PAC and the Blackpool Combat Club ended up sending Omega into the ring, and he ended up offering Omega over to Don Callis. Don Callis ended up delivering a cheap shot to Omega's head. PAC out on the mic. He ended up saying that Omega has no idea how long he has been waiting to come back and get his revenge. PAC ended up revealing that he is the fifth member of the Blackpool Combat Club. So the Blackpool Combat Club ended up setting up a chair around Omega's throat. PAC ended up heading up top. Moxley got on the mic. He ended up asking if Omega has any last words for his Canadian friends before Blood and Guts. Omega ended up saying that they still have a fifth member to announce as well. So Omega ended up telling them to check the screen. So the lights end up going out in the arena, and then we find out who the fifth member of the Elite will be for Blood and Guts. And the fifth member in the Elite is KOTA IBUSHI. Yes, KOTA IBUSHI is coming to AEW, and he's joining forces with Omega, Page, and the Bucks. They're going to be known as the Golden Elite in Blood and Guts. So the lights came back on. Page and the Bucks end up rushing in, and the Blackpool Combat Club ran out of the ring. They ended up heading up the ramp. Omega ended up talking down the Blackpool Combat Club, and he ended up giving us, his old closing line. He ended up saying goodbye and good night. So then we had a stare down between the Blackpool Combat Club and the Elite, and that was how Dynamite went off the air. Overall, love these two mystery members. PAC returns, and he is the fifth member in the Blackpool Combat Club, but the big mystery member in the Elite, KOTA IBUSHI. That's pretty awesome. KOTA IBUSHI, he is freaking awesome, and really glad that they got Ibushi to team with Omega, Page, and the Bucks for Blood and Guts. Blood and Guts is shaping up to be fucking awesome next week. And I might be doing a watch-along live stream next week for Dynamite. Won't be doing a review. I want to get my reactions to the Blood and Guts match, which I've been doing, every year. But Dynamite tonight was a very fun show. Good show it was. But anyways, that's it for my review of tonight's Dynamite. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this review. Definitely give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and until next video, I'll see you all later.